welcome to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and as always, it's so great to have you. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. Well, we're going to highlight the Seven Angels Theater that is based in Waterbury, Connecticut, and I have the pleasure of having the new team that's running the theater. I know that you'll enjoy this show. They're wonderful men that have decided to come and spend some time with us. I have Craig David Rosen, the managing director, right here, and Constantine Pappas, artistic director, right here as well. Gentlemen, thank you both so much for making the trip here. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
What he said. You took the words out of my mouth.
I do that a lot.
We spent a lot of time talking before we started taping, so if you don't mind, let's kind of repeat ourselves for the audience. Craig, why don't you start us off? Why don't you introduce yourself to the viewer? Let us get to know you.
Okay, well, as I said, I'm Craig David Rosen. I have been performing for over 50 years now. I started directing about 35 years ago and choreographing, and I've written a playwright as well. And having been on the boards of several theaters, I got that bug to say, hey, you know, I think managing a theater is what I would like to do down the road for me. And here I am, doing exactly what I had hoped, to be doing, and using all of my artistic abilities as well as the business managerial abilities that I've gained over the years working in law firms.
As I mentioned, we have a lot of actors that watch this show. You started out as an actor. Did you know as you were moving through your artistic life that managing a theater right now at Seven Angels would be a dream come true for you?
Well, when I started acting, that was it. Then as I was, getting older, directing started to appeal to me. And then when I started directing, at the same time, I was also joined the board of directors of the Gallery Players down in Park Slope, Brooklyn. And being involved with the theater and helping to make a theater run, that's where I got the thought and the desire to run a theater and manage a theater.
And you're both, Samina De Laurentiis has been here. She was a fabulous show. You both are new to this establishment. How did you find it?
I found it on Facebook. they were, I know, I found it on Facebook. I mean, there was posting all over Facebook, and I'm just scrolling through, and all of a sudden I saw this. I'm like, oh my God, this is my dream job. And I took out my resume. I contacted people that I wanted to write letters of recommendation for me and sent it in and went through a few, I think 3 or 4 interviews, and here we are.
And Constantine, your turn now. Why don't you introduce yourself to the viewer? Let us get to know you.
Absolutely. So, hi, my name is Constantine Pappas. I looked at the camera. I am a professional actor and singer. I've been in a number of productions, the North American tour of the Phantom of the Opera, where I got the chance to be on stage for 602 times.
Oh, boy.
Or 602 performances, I should say.
Yeah, right.
And in Barry Manilow's Harmony on Broadway, as well as made a Carnegie Hall debut back in April. And I'm excited just to bring some of those talents and experiences to Seven Angels Theater and the community. I've been fortunate enough to be around Seven Angels since 2017, having for the last 4 years run and directed their Seven Angels High School Halo Awards program, now renamed after our former artistic director, the Samina De Laurentiis Halo Awards, the largest Connecticut theater awards program.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, this big famous actor that is sitting here on my sofa, what on earth made the transition where you were with big names that you've just mentioned to now being somebody that's an integral part of running a theater? What happened?
For me, in the state of the theater industry right now, I felt that I could better serve the community coming back home, because I moved here in 2019 officially, and I just got married actually in July.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And it's been all amidst taking over a theater and getting married. It's been a lot of fun, but I felt as though I had more to offer being here, of course, for a wife, but also for community. And like I said, bring those experiences here, and just, enrich the community through amazing artistic excellence and vision.
Okay, your title, Artistic Director. We hear it often because I have many theater people that come here. From your point of view, what are your responsibilities as that title tells us?
Well, this is actually something that was really funny in the interview process, and something I had to explain to the board of directors when we were going through it, was when you go online and you look up artistic director, you don't find very much information. In fact, the Gemini or ChatGPT element when you are typing into Google will often spit out, are you looking for art directors? And when you finally do the research, there's only 1,800 of us in the United States.
Oh my.
And so if it wasn't a coveted position before, it certainly can be considered one now.
Oh yeah.
And there's so many theaters from the community level, the regional level like we are at, to off-Broadway, Broadway, and even integral to different regions like Denver or Minneapolis, where you're starting to see these hubs. The artistic director is responsible for overseeing the artistic vision of the theater, the performances that we bring in, and how those performances serve the immediate community that surrounds them.
I like to say that the artistic director oversees the artistic integrity of the theater, which is very, very important because, you want to set a high standard of artistic integrity. So that's one of the main functions of the artistic director.
Okay, managing director, which is now you're stuck. Why don't you? It's your turn now. That's a title in itself. Why don't you tell us what that means?
Well, the managing director really predominantly is overseeing the business aspect of the theater, making sure that we have money to put on shows, making sure we're out there getting sponsorships, donations, whatever, and working closely with the artistic director, planning a season, making sure that it's feasible, that we can afford to produce that show, because costumes maybe or sets, all that has to be taken into consideration when mounting a season. So that's the main function of the managing director, to oversee the finances and work closely with the artistic director. Fortunately, we work very, very closely together. Mm-hmm. It's almost like we're the co-managing artistic directors kind of thing. We really it's so important to work so closely together to make the theater run properly.
Yeah.
Now you two are the new team that has taken over the theater. From both of your perspectives, how is it going? Is it a wonderful new chapter for the both of you? Was it worth taking the job?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt. I get to wake up every day and go to work at a theater. I mean, that's like the best. I love my job. I love the people that I work with. I love that I'm making art every day. That's what I do. I'm helping to make art happen. And we're very excited because the process of getting rights to a show, because we didn't have a season when we took over. We had pretty much 48 hours to come up with a season to present to our board of directors. And then it just takes time getting the rights through the rights houses. And we just announced our season, and things are really starting to ramp up.
Mm-hmm.
How has it been for you to start as a new team member to run this theater?
Great. It's been really great. Actually, to piggyback off of, it's nice to go and you were in a theater, but even at its core, for those that possibly don't even know what it's like going to a theater, you scale it back. It's a nonprofit. It's a nonprofit organization. We get to go in not knowing what the next step is, and we get to face some of the challenges in real time through fundraising efforts, through ticket sales, through programming. And that has actually been a very eye-opening experience to see what is unique to that theater. We all know that a nonprofit needs funding. How do we acquire that? And so we've been able to just look at that with fresh eyes and see what we can do for the theater.
Why don't we take a moment and take a break? If you just hold on for a second, we'll be right back, okay?
You got it.
Okay. We're going to take a break right now. I'm Deborah Gilbert. You're tuned into Arts and Entertainment. We'll be right back.
Keep 2025 fraud-free with these 3 tips from Better Business Bureau. Be wary of unsolicited emails from a person or company. Remember, scammers can make emails look like they are from a legitimate business, government agency, or reputable organization. Never click on links or open attachments in unsolicited emails. If you haven't met a person face-to-face, don't send them money. This is especially true if the person asks you to transfer funds using a prepaid debit card or Cash App. Money sent to strangers in this way is untraceable, and once it's sent, there's no getting it back. And resolve to research the retailer before entering payment information when shopping online. Ask, is this a person or business I know and trust? Do they have a working customer service number? Where is the company physically located? And have I checked to see if others have complained? Visit bbb.org to read complaints and reviews and find a trusted company near you.
And welcome back to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and as always, thanks so much for being here. My conversation continues on. We're talking about the Seven Angels Theater. And Constantine, let's talk about the season. I know that it's just been decided. How do you decide what a season is?
Well, that was the fun part, because that was really the first thing we had to do when we got in. And like Craig said, we planned it in about 24 to 48 hours. We had it ready to go. And you have to look at a lot of different elements. What is the audience like? You know, we're a community that prefers musicals over plays, but it's not to say that we can't do plays. We prefer comedies over dramas. And we start looking at all these elements and trying to put together what are the shows that are going to be the most entertaining, the most valuable, and just all around like a good artistic success. And so the season that we have planned was very carefully put together, both out of a cost standpoint, the acquisition of talent, and other elements. So our first show that we're actually, the first show goes up September 26th to October 12th, is Lucky Stiff, a hilarious musical comedy by the same team, Aarons and Flaherty, that put together Ragtime, Once on This Island, Seussical, Man of No Importance. Really, like, I believe, if I remember correctly, Tony Award winning team. Our second show, Art of Murder, is a fabulous murder mystery that takes place in the countryside of Connecticut. I mean, what do you do when the painter decides he's going to murder his art dealer? And it's a 4-person show that you'll never guess who done it right at the end. Our third show, Farce of Nature, a hilarious romp of a true farce in a small place called the Realum Inn in the Ozarks, and just all of the characters that fit into this small town. Our fourth show, Rodgers and Hammerstein's Grand Night for Singing, is just an excellent look back at this catalog of music that is just, it is theater.
They started musical theater. Rodgers and Hammerstein wrote the first musical as we know it, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Where music and singing was an integral part of telling the story and finishing the dialogue.
Absolutely. And we're actually hoping to leverage that production to go back to our roots and actually maybe have an 8 to 9 piece orchestra on stage. We were a theater that used to put on operas, full operas, and that would just be a great callback to some of the more classical works that we've produced. And of course, finally, our season finale, and if, like I say, you know, if the season sucks, it will be the title of the show, Something Rotten, the Broadway, the Tony Award winning musical.
Okay. Tell me if you do know, either of you, but I'll ask you, Craig, the history of the theater. How did it start? How old is it?
Well, okay. We'll go back to the theater, the physical space, turned 100 years old this year.
Congratulations.
Our theater space is 100 years. It started out as a dance hall in the 20s and 30s. Then it was made into a roller rink. And when you come into our space, you could see the original floor is still there, and you could see like the pattern of the floor as a roller rink. And then in 1990, Samina De Laurentiis, who was doing her acting, she was out in California trying to get her footing in the TV world and movie world, and then there was a big writer's strike. So she came back home to Waterbury, where she grew up, And people said to her, you should start a theater. And at first she was like, in a theater in Waterbury, and then she's like, all right. And she started it, and here we are, we're starting our 36th season.
And it's a regional theater,
Yes.
Constantine. What does that mean?
So there are certain theaters, so we'll try to tier it up a little bit. So we have our top end, Broadway. That's it. It's in New York. There's 40 some odd theaters. Broadway's the top upper echelon of theater. Then I don't say the bottom because everyone is very talented and there's always stages. We'll say community productions where it's just, get your friends together, get some local talent together, you put on a show. Just above that is regional theater, where we start to acquire some of the talent from New York, from some of those Broadway stages, and give them a platform to perform in other places. You have, like I said, there were 1,800 artistic directors in the nation. And by that account, about 1,800 theaters, all at different tiers, whether depending on the audience size. We have a touring house. I would say that was a touring theater down the street from us, the Palace Theater. And they can seat about 2,500 people. And they can bring in tours that come through town. The same with the Bushnell, can bring in tours. We're a 350-seat theater for more intimate works, but just powerful performances.
The website, Craig, what will the viewer find when they go to Seven Angels Theater, theatre.org? What will they find?
Well, they will find, first of all, our history and our mission, what we're here for. They will find, right now as of this week, they'll find our upcoming season. They'll find all the other things that we do. So in between our shows, we have concerts, comedy shows. We also do 2 community theater productions, non-professional, a season. And so that's what people will find when they go to our website, how to purchase tickets. Auditions will be advertised on our website as well for people who want to come and audition for us. Just anything and everything you need to know about Seven Angels Theater is there on our website.
And Constantine, if scenic director, this director, that actor, how do they get in touch with you? Is it just through the website, or can they reach out to you? What do they do?
Absolutely. And actually, if you were to go to our website, you would find employment opportunities. And we're always looking. We always like to meet new people and see who's in the community, and even our folks in New York. Our emails are there, Constantine@sevenangelstheater.org or Craig@sevenangelstheater.org.
If you don't want to type all those extra digits for his name.
That's right. Right, absolutely. You'll save 6 characters, which is great. So you just reach out there, and we'll be more than happy to get in touch with you.
How does theater look? Here we're in 2025, 2026. How's theater doing these days?
Well, COVID really did hit everybody, including the theater community. And unfortunately, there have been theaters that have closed. But we're still here. We're still going strong. We're just looking to build the audience of the future. That's really the big thing, is bringing in new, younger audiences, because they're going to be our future audiences. So you want to, and that's part of planning a season as well, is you want to bring in newer audiences, different audiences. And up in Waterbury, there's a lot of different cultures just in the Waterbury area itself. So you want to work with that as well. You want to appeal to so many different people and audience goers.
What are your thoughts about the future of theater? Again, 2025, 2026. What does your theater look like in 2027, 2028?
Yeah. To be honest, a vision that I share with Craig, although he suggested it first, but I want to share that sentiment.
Please.
Seven Angels Performing Arts Center. I think there is such a need, because theater goes beyond just putting the show up on stage. There's a technical aspect to it, being able to build something, which goes into architecture. There is being able to present yourself. That goes into leadership and public speaking. So there is a lot of offerings that are untapped with Seven Angels that we can fully dive into and be able to explore with kids, adults, young children, and even some of the artists that come in. We can foster that new talent and grow them over time, so they can just just go forward in the world and maybe give back to Seven Angels a little bit, but just get out there and have fun. And I think that's something that I think we're really gearing toward, and just seeing how far we can expand it.
And just to piggyback quickly on that, one of the programs that we started is a senior program where we're doing acting classes for seniors.
Oh, lovely.
And now theater rights houses, they now offer senior versions. Like up until now, they've only offered junior versions for like children's theater. So they're only about an hour long, which is about the attention span of a child in the theater. But they also now started doing these senior versions because there's a big push and a big desire for the seniors to be able to perform and do their own kind of shows. So that's really exciting too.
I hear rights, I hear rights, I hear rights. How does somebody secure rights? What does that mean?
Well, when obviously the people who wrote the play, they own the play. They own the rights to the play. And then there's companies like Music Theater International or Concord, which owns like Dramatists Play Service. What you do is you apply to the rights house, whoever owns the rights, or handles the rights. I shouldn't say owns it, because the playwright owns it. And then you have to contact them. You have to tell them all about your theater. How many seats? How much do the seats cost? What is, how many equity actors do you have? You have to give them all the information. And then it's usually about a 7 or 8 week process by the time you officially ask for the rights till they finally grant you the right to do the show. Then you make your deposit, you pay for the rights, and then you get the materials, the scripts, and the music and everything, and you start your rehearsals and put on a show.
Wow. Wow. You really don't think about it until it's broken down like that there's a tremendous amount that goes into doing a show.
Yes.
That process, and even that 8 week process, we can simply put that in, but then the additional calls need to be made to those publishing houses that have the works, to the writers of that work. Even the first show that we're doing, there were addendums to the work of where they went, hey, we actually had to change this. Here's a new sheet for page 6. And so you get to see some of those inner workings in real time where, theater is always evolving, and we get to be just kind of with that.
And that's just the beginning. Getting the rights is truly just the beginning, because once you have the rights and you know what show you are doing, then you have to hire your directors, choreographers, designers, set light and costumes. Then you have the audition process. And then we're dealing with equity. So that's also part of the whole process. So securing the rights is just the beginning, and then it just takes off from there.
And you and I had talked about equity and non-equity. You're both.
We are an equity regional theater. We do put on 2 non-equity shows, community shows
I'm glad
a
you're
year.
mentioning that.
But our main stage shows are all equity. We hire professional and non-professional. Anybody can come and audition. If you've got the talent, we will hire you.
Yeah.
We are starting to slowly run out of time. Any closing thoughts for the viewer?
We hope to see you at Seven Angels Theater. I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking. We hope you will see you at Seven Angels Theater. Come and see our exciting new season that's coming up, and see all the new things that we have planned for the Seven Angels Theater.
Yeah.
And your thoughts, any closing thoughts for the viewer?
Just make sure you're on Facebook and Instagram, and go on our website. We have so many fun updates that we didn't even share today. And so we're always, like I said, we're always evolving. We have so many offerings that we're hoping to put together and get out there. And especially if you're interested in auditioning for our first 2 shows, Lucky Stiff and Art of Murder, be on the lookout for a casting call to go out. We're just going to have a blast.
Well, I want to congratulate you. You've kind of stepped into big shoes. I think you both know that.
Yes.
But I'm very excited for you, and I thank you both so much for being here today. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us and for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you again for being here. I appreciate it. And I'm Deborah Gilbert. You're tuned in to Arts and Entertainment. In case you need to reach me, I'm at artsandentertainment@mail.com. Well, I hope you have a super day today. I really hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.